Hello, hey, it's Nisa and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing the process of me making my vision board for 2026. So this is actually the first time I'll be doing a vision board. So you're probably thinking, why have you got something that says 2025 there? So I actually intended to do a vision board this time last year and I basically just never got round to actually doing it. So I will be reusing some of the stuff that I intended to use for this year's vision board that never happened, and I've also got some new printouts of things that I've kind of thought about over the year that I'd like to work on for next year. So people usually print out their pictures like on proper like photograph paper, but I've just gone for like normal A4 paper, and the reason for that is because I've never done a vision board before. I don't know if I'm going to find it helpful, if I'm going to connect with it. Like, it's kind of the first time that I'm trying it, so I didn't want to, not gonna lie, I didn't want to spend too much money on it, so I've kind of printed it on normal paper. And then in terms of the actual vision board itself, I have just got like A3 card here instead of like proper poster board, and I'm just gonna like back it onto just a big piece of cardboard to keep it nice. And then I've just got Pritt stick here to stick it on with. I know some people will put like PVA glue over the top of it, but yeah, I'm gonna see how it goes. And yeah, so this is my cheap and cheerful way of doing a vision board. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out all of the pictures that I've got. I'm going to do that off camera because that's just going to be pretty boring. And then yeah, we'll talk through, we'll categorise everything and we'll talk through it. We'll place it all on the board and see how it looks. I don't even know like if I've printed things at the right size, if I've got too many things, if I've not got enough. So yeah, let's see how it goes. So I've roughly cut up all of my printouts. So I've got a massive pile here. So as I was going through, I was thinking, okay, some of these aren't so applicable as what I thought they might be this time last year, which is fine, but I've cut them all up anyway. I've done it roughly because I don't know which ones I'm going to use. And then last year, I also printed a lot of things with words on, which I actually don't really think I want, because I know like when you're making a vision board, it's supposed to be more, obviously you're supposed to be visualising stuff, not necessarily looking at quotes. So I've kind of cut these off where I don't need them. I'm going to keep them just in case I do have any gaps, but judging by the amount of pictures I've got here, I don't think I'm going to have any gaps. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably do a quick time lapse here and just organise these out into categories, and then we'll come back and talk through them all, place them, and yeah, see what we end up with. So I've just sorted them out into piles, and there are some themes, but there's some things that are kind of on their own, and I've definitely got way too many pictures, and I think some of them are probably a little bit too big. I'll definitely be able to cut some down, and I have got some things that are very like similar, which can probably be trashed. So I have tried to arrange them in some sort of order, but also they probably aren't really in an order either. So let's just start with this random pile. This is a bit of like a health, self-care-y type kind of pile. So we've got things around hair care. So I have really fine hair. Hair is falling out quite a lot, and I will have a video in a few months' time about this. I won't go too much into that right now. So I think like actually putting effort into my hair care is a really big thing for me, so I'm definitely going to keep this one. I've got two that are kind of walking type thing. So I might keep the smaller one for now. I'm going to put this to one side, and if I have room maybe I'll add it on, but I think I'm going to keep this smaller one of someone walking. Got one of someone kind of doing like a morning stretch, which again kind of goes into the movement, healthy habits type thing. So I don't move a lot, so I have an office job, and yeah, I just really struggle to like prioritize movement. So this is a really big thing for me. This is quite a big picture, but I'll probably be able to cut this down if I need to, so we'll keep that one. We've got another one of hair. So this is, again, kind of in that same theme. So because it's kind of a duplicate type of thing, I'm going to put it to one side, and then if I feel like I need it, then I'll add it in. I've got this one of a load of like cute pink aesthetic skincare products. So yeah, that's kind of another thing, is as well as the hair care, actually like keeping on top of my skincare routine. So I'm going to keep that one. And then I've got one of weighing scales, which I do feel like I need to drop some weight. Now, I like to think more about inches, which is why I've got the tape measure. I like to think about kind of inches rather than weight, because I know like obviously when you build muscle, like you're not necessarily losing weight, but you will be losing kind of like inches in certain places. So that's why I've got that one. And then kind of linked to it, but as a separate pile, I've got kind of healthy eating. So I've got, yeah, just a few pictures of different healthy foods. So what I'll probably do is I'm definitely going to keep these two, because we've kind of got like a savoury meal and then fruit. So I'm going to keep those, and actually I'm going to put them in that same pile. And then I've got this one, which is just like fruit and flowers, which is, yeah, I mean, I don't really need this one, so I'm going to put this to one side. And then I've got this one, which kind of goes into like being happy being on your own type vibes. Now, I actually don't know why that was in that pile. It's probably because there's just a bowl of food on it. So that kind of segues into maybe this pile. Now, this one is probably, I've probably put this in the wrong pile. I think this needs to go in my house one, so I'm not going to talk about that one right now. But then I've got a picture of flowers. Now this one, I don't know whether to keep this in. Now this was around like buying myself flowers. I've actually already got into this habit this year, but I don't know whether to put it on there as just to like remind myself. So I might put it there, and then if I don't have room for it, we'll scrap it. And then we've got this one, this kind of scene of a kitchen and cooking. Now this one I put in because I want to get more into cooking. So maybe I'll put this in next to the food one, but then maybe these will go near it. I'm probably already building up a bit of how this is gonna look. So I'm gonna put those there. So this is the yes pile, unless I've got written and we'll have to go through it again. And then we've got, what should we do next? Let's do this pile next. So this pile is around like solo dates, which is really important to me. So we've got this tea. So I love going out for a tea and cake. We've got an afternoon tea. We've got coffee and pastries, which I love. And then this one is kind of like coffee and doing admin. Now, I don't even drink coffee, so I don't know why I've got pictures of coffee. But this one, so I used to be in a really good habit of like, I'm really bad with like life admin. Like my personal emails are just a mess. And I put this in because I used to, like, on a Saturday morning, I'd go to like whichever cafe and just sit down on my laptop and just get some stuff done. So I really would like to get back into that habit. But then I quite like this one with the pastries. I think I'm going to get rid of this one because this doesn't really say solo date, it just says I like tea. So I think I'm going to get rid of this one. And then I'm going to keep these three for now, and we'll see how we get on in terms of space. I'm probably already run out of space in reality. So next, moving on from solo dates, we've got socialising. So I've just got this, I thought this was like a cute aesthetic picture. I've got kind of like a dinner party vibe, another dinner party vibe, and then we've got two garden party vibes. So garden party is definitely something I want to try and do this year. So a lot of my friends have been on at me to like host something this year, which I just wasn't ready to. I haven't got any garden furniture or anything. So definitely want to do something this year. Now I'm wondering which one of these to keep because they're both very similar aesthetically. Maybe the smaller one. Yeah, I'm thinking I might keep the smaller one. So I'm going to put the bigger one to one side. And then I think this one might be a little bit too dark. So maybe I'll use this one as a replacement for dinner party. And then I've got this one, which is kind of just a group of girls having fun, which I thought was cute and kind of, I suppose, isn't necessarily about doing anything social at my house, but just outside of the home, I guess. So we'll put these three to one side. So next we've got hobbies. So I've got, so this was me this time last year thinking that I definitely wanted to start YouTube. So we've got this one, and this is someone in the house, which I think I do this quite well. So I don't know whether to put this one in or not. And the reason I say that is because I've also got this one of someone vlogging outside, which I think is probably more important if I had to cut one. So I might put this one to one side because I think I do this quite well. Like I've kind of been doing this since February. So what's that? We're in December now, so 10 months of the year. So I'm going to put this one to one side. So we'll keep the vloggy one. And then I've got this one, which I don't know if flying, going on holiday is a hobby, but to me it kind of fit in this category the most out of any others. And then I've got two tap shoes that I really want to, and this again was me this time last year wanting to start tap dancing class, which I found one, I just never booked onto it. And I had so much going on this year, like I don't think there was a period of time where I was here consistently to be able to attend a class every week. So I don't necessarily need both of these pictures. I probably should keep the smaller one, but I think this one's nicer, so let's keep that one and put the other one to one side. Let's do this housey one next. So this one, I think I've kind of already done this. Now I am sat on my dining table and I do have like a table runner on it and I keep flowers on it. So I think I've kind of recreated this already. So I'm going to put this to one side. And then I've got this cute tidy wardrobe. So again, me this time last year was looking at buying my wardrobes for my dressing room. And I do kind of have this, but it doesn't look nice, which I'm going to keep this one in because I do want to get that sorted. So I've already kind of started working on this and I started filming, but I haven't finished it. So there will be a video on this at some point in the year. So yeah, I think this is good to keep on to keep me accountable. And then I've got this one, which is just like a clean, aesthetic looking, organised cupboard, which is just to represent just keeping the home like organised and clutter free. So I want to keep that one on. And then I've got one of a very nice looking, well kept garden as well, which I think I need to put more time and energy into my garden in 2026. So we'll keep that one in as well. So next I've got a lot of things around wardrobe. So we've got just some nice people dressed for work. I don't need all three of these pictures. I might keep these two. So this one reminds me of the toilets at work, and sometimes I take outfit pictures like this, so I think I'm going to keep this one in, and I might keep this one because I just really like this outfit. But basically this is to say I want to make more of an effort dressing for work, and this is why I also had this lift one, but I don't need three pictures representing the same thing, so I'll put that to one side. I think the reason for this is I just think I feel better and more confident when I dress up for work, and you know, that's not any new science or anything. Like a lot of people say this, that you like when you dress a certain way you feel a lot more confident. I think this is something I really need to focus on. And then I've also got this picture of like a curated wardrobe, which is something I also want to focus on this year in terms of just like reducing the amount of clothes I have, but having pieces that I really love. I don't want to be that person that kind of only wears 20% of their wardrobe, which I'm definitely that person at the moment. Then actually that probably segues onto this picture. Now this was me this time last year wanting to like do a complete overhaul of my wardrobe and buy loads of stuff and whatever, and actually I don't think I'm in this place anymore. I think if I lose some inches I'll definitely wear more of my wardrobe, because a lot of my clothes I'm not very confident in at the moment. So I don't think the answer is buying more clothes. I think the answer is becoming more confident in my own body and then kind of getting rid of stuff that just I won't ever really wear anyway because my style's changed. So I'm going to get rid of this one. And then this kind of fits in. So this is a bag of packages. So I have so many clothes that I need to sell. I'm a big fan of Vinted and eBay, I guess. So I've put this on just to motivate me to kind of get rid of stuff. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that I need to sell everything on Vinted, like some things will go to charity as well, but it's just to kind of represent getting rid of stuff. And I actually have been doing quite a bit of selling on Vinted recently, but I think, yeah, the focus needs to carry on into 2026. So I've got a couple of pictures around finances. So funnily enough, when I did looking for my pictures for 2026, like the things that I've been thinking about across the year, I hadn't realised I'd already printed this picture off last year. So we will keep the smaller one just because it makes more sense to keep the smaller one. And then I've got this one, which is like a laptop with some graphs on, and this is because I want to kind of look at maybe starting to invest. Probably miss a boat a little bit in terms of like age and being able to compound, but if you don't start, like, you'll never get anywhere with it. So I think these two obviously go together in terms of financing stuff, like actually trying to plan a bit better. Again, I have been doing this over the last couple of years, but I'm not completely sold on the system I've currently got. So yeah, this is something that I want to focus on this year as well. And then my final pile is quite a chunky one actually. So this one is all about development. So I've got a picture of Atomic Habits and some other books. So I have read Atomic Habits before, but I think it's one of those books that you have to keep refreshing on to actually, I suppose, like keep getting the message across. Like because I don't know, like for me anyway, whenever I read like a self-help kind of book, development book, I just feel like the messages don't, like, they're sticking for a bit and then I have to like revisit. So that's why I've got that one there. And then I've got another duplicate, funnily enough, so I keep the smaller one. I didn't even realise I had that duplicate. And then I've got this one that's got like certificates on there. So I would like to do another qualification this year. I haven't studied for quite a few years now, and I want to just, I suppose, like engage my brain a bit more. And I think doing a qualification would be quite beneficial to me. And then I've got just a picture of someone studying. I think these kind of represent the same thing, so I'm going to keep this one just to kind of, I think it makes more sense to keep this one, as in like the end goal is actually to do a qualification and get some sort of certificate. So I'm going to keep this one and trash this one. And then the final two are just pictures of laptops. So I think this one was more of a self-help, like studying kind of one. So I'm going to trash this one. And then this one was kind of to represent like actually getting back into the zone with work again. I've probably coasted the last couple of years, and I think I need to just get back in the zone again and yeah, just focus a bit more on work. So I think the last couple of years I've been focusing more around like this house and yeah, just not work. Like it's not been, like I've been doing what I need to do for my job and maybe still a bit extra, but nowhere near as, like, I'm not working at 100%, which I would quite like to get back into. So this is just to kind of represent that. And then I have got just a little 2026 label thing to put in the middle. So I think I'm going to change the angle of the camera, just so you can kind of see like an overhead view of me trying to figure out where to put everything. Also, the other thing I realised is this card is thicker than I realised. Like, it's not just normal card, it is like a bit thicker, so that's quite good, but I still might need to back it onto some cardboard. But yeah, I'm going to change the angle. We'll do a bit of a time lapse and then we'll see where we get to by the end of it. So if I've put the time lapse in, you'll see I ended up cutting out a load of stuff because I don't know why I thought I was going to fit like 50 things on here. So I did start cutting things down a bit smaller, and then it started to occur to me that I definitely had way too many things on here. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to focus on all of those things that I talk through. So I decided to cut some stuff out, and I did think that some of the themes were quite duplicated in terms of the pictures, which I did kind of talk about. This is what our finished vision board looks like. So, I mean, the 2026 didn't end up in the middle, but that's absolutely fine. I'll just scooch over a bit. We've got all of the health stuff up here. We've got hobbies kind of along here. We've got only one picture that kind of represents the socialising here, and that's kind of dinner party vibe. So I got rid of the garden party picture and the girly vibey picture. It just wasn't going to fit, and I thought, do you know what, this can just represent all of the social stuff. I've got these two pictures I just really wanted to have because I just love these outfits, and it is quite a big thing for me in terms of my appearance at work. And then I've got my development stuff kind of here, and then finances here. We've got work there, and then the vintage stuff kind of just ended up here. That's just where it ended up for whatever reason. Life admin type stuff. And then I just got the flowers, and then I took the croissants from one of the pictures just to kind of fill these gaps up, and I thought, do you know what, this can be the self-care stuff in the middle. So I'm happy with how it turned out. I think these vistas kind of represent everything that I want to work on. I don't know, did I worry about aesthetics too much? Potentially. Like, could this aeroplane have been smaller? Maybe. But considering it's my first vision board, I'm quite happy with it. But yeah, I don't know if I actually need to put it on any cardboard to back it up. I might just leave it as it is and stand it up somewhere and see how it does. But yeah, so this is my 2026 vision board. So hopefully some of the videos that I post throughout the year will reflect some of these goals that I'm working on, which I know a couple of them will. Just in terms of like what I would recommend is, if you are going to make a vision board, is obviously kind of plan your goals out beforehand, like write down what you're kind of wanting to focus on for the year, and then just be prepared that positioning everything will take a while. I think when I looked at how long I'd been recording for, I think it was like 50 minutes that I spent just trying to position everything. So just brace yourself for that, but maybe make an evening of it, like get a nice drink, like put some music on, and yeah, just try and make it like an enjoyable process. Maybe I'll do a mid-year video just to keep myself accountable and see how we're getting on against all of these things. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far, and I will see you in the next one.